Well, here is what has happened. It is almost noon and I did spray, and it went really well. And I got my airbrush all cleaned up, and I got my spray booth put away under the model table, and I'm sitting here admiring my handiwork, and all of a sudden I realized I'd screwed up. Yeah, I had meant to spray these smaller pieces, the number 66, so that they will match the other smaller pieces that we've already got made up here. And a lot of these are already on the ship. And yeah, so I had to put everything back. And I'm going to be using the turntable again. So I thought, you know what? Being as I can sort of spot in on the center of the turntable with the camera, that's not too hard to video. So we'll do a little bit of videoing of the spraying. But yeah, like I've said, life is what happens to you while you're making other plans. Okay, there is only the 5 pieces, but I don't like to be having to paint any more coats over something small like this that has a lot of detail in it, because the more you paint over detail, the more you're going to cover it up. Now, later this afternoon, there are 2 more things that are going to happen, kind of like putting the tires on yesterday. Well, I've got 2 things that are going to be happening this afternoon. And so that's going to kind of, you might say, cut into model making time. You know what? I better put my rubber gloves on here. I'm probably going to get this stuff all over my fingers. You know, mind you, this Tamiya XF paint, it does wash off with soap and water really, really well. I probably wouldn't need to be wearing the gloves, but now I've already shaken this up in the paint shaker. And it's thinned out. I can't remember. Oh my, there's a lot of grunge around the edge there. Yeah. I don't want to be getting that down into the cup, but I don't know where the best place to pour from is. Well, let's just hope it doesn't get down in there. You know, this Iwata airbrush is a nice airbrush, but I don't like the way this cap goes on. If you press it down, you know, really hard, it seems sometimes you've got to get it just right, or you can't easily pop it off. Anyway, let's get our spray booth cranked up here and recompose a little bit and see what we can do. Now, just a few minutes ago, I had put the macro lens on, and yeah, the intent was to show the spraying being done close up. But I forgot to push record, and I'm kind of worried about that because I'm doing a lot of silly mistakes like that lately. I'm just not paying attention to what I'm doing, I guess. Anyway, we'll look at the other ones in a minute. Okay, we're kind of back to where we were almost 2 hours ago. Well, not quite. Now this one here, I was quite pleasantly surprised at how well it turned out. It turned out a lot easier to paint into the decks and into all the little nooks and crannies than I thought it was. I'll see if maybe I can't somehow prop this up so that when we turn it, you can sort of see in there. Maybe this is a little bit too high, but you get the idea. And then we'll look at these other pieces as well. Now these small ones, well, you already kind of saw them. Well, here's hoping this is going to work out. I think I did a fairly good job considering. I don't know if the, I've got to get the paintbrush in there now and try and do the deck. At least I think I do, unless I just decide to leave it. But I don't think so. I think I'll see if I can paint it. And then we've got to get our 6 little pieces on the inside there. You can almost see where the holes are where they have to mount. Anyway, let's get another piece on the turntable here. Now, if you remember a few weeks ago when I'd finished this part here, I was sort of beating myself up because I hadn't got these radar units at the same angle. They're just a little bit off. I think the top one is okay. It's just this one down here that should be just swung around a couple of degrees. Now, I could try and break it loose, but I'm afraid what's going to happen is that I'll end up, making things worse. So, as I mentioned, actually this one here is more the other way. So, yeah, I could have done better there, but I think it's going to be okay. At least the little ladder looks all right. Now, there's nothing special about these. I'm just going to have to watch that when I put them in the hole so that I don't scratch the paint off. They have to go through down in these holes down here. So, but it's a loose fit from what I remember. Yeah. Okay, now the last piece. Okay, very carefully here now. I'm going to recompose here just a little bit. I think we should be looking at this more down from the top, and then I'll hold it in my hands and show you the bottom. And so far we've managed not to break these little parts off. Okay, I'm going to try and pick it up here. I'm going to have to watch the monitor so I know what I'm doing. Okay, very carefully. Now get this out of the way. I'm quite happy with the way the spraying went in all those little nooks and crannies. Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to wrap this up, folks. Stuff started happening here this afternoon. And yeah, I got to say thanks for watching, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.